Okay, so hello and a warm welcome. I hope I'm audible to all. Welcome for today's exclusive webinar, which is based on 5-year patent, trademark, and copyright. And for this, we have with us our today's expert, Miss Pooja Menon, ma'am. She has completed her diploma in intellectual property rights and she has experience more than 9 years and 8 years plus experience in industry. Also, in addition to, she has completed her IPR certification course from RG and IIPM Institute, and she also completed her BTech in Information Technology. Without wasting further time, I would like to invite Miss Pooja Menon, ma'am. Ma'am, your voice is not audible.
Sorry. Hello, everyone. A very warm good morning. Thank you, sir, for introducing me and for providing this platform. I'll be just sharing the your screen such that the presentation is visible. Sir, I hope my screen is visible to all. Okay, so let's begin today's seminar on intellectual property rights. Basically, there are two types of property, as we all know. One is the physical property, which we are very well aware of. We interact with it in on a daily basis. Like if you ask anybody, like, what do you own? So everyone will be like, I have a house, I own a car, I have so much land, this much gold. So these are all your physical property. Now, a kid from a very young age is very well taught to protect their physical property. Like if you buy a house today, before even endorsing it to the your dear and near ones, you'll get it registered from the government, such that people do not try to take it away from you. Like suppose I come for a cup of coffee and I loved your house, I loved your place. I'm like, let's do one thing. Pack up your bags and just leave. I like your house, now I'll stay here from today on. Can I do that? Actually, no, I cannot do that because you have the property papers to prove that the house is yours. Right. But let's talk about intellectual property, which discusses, which, includes your ideas, innovations, thoughts, creativity, everything that is intellectually created. That means it's all in your head, it's still not a product. Such things are included under intellectual property. Now, we are very well taught to protect our physical property, but we are very lenient when it comes to intellectual property. Okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry, my screen wasn't visible, so now I think it is. Okay. So we were discussing about intellectual property. Now, as you all know, that intellectual property includes your ideas, thoughts, innovations, methods, process, creativity. Now, we are very lenient when it comes to the matter of intellectual property, right? Now, if suppose you have an idea, now you're working in a field of research and suddenly you have an idea. See, whenever we have a thought, or we have a process, or we discover something that is unique and nobody has discussed before, instead of protecting it, the first thing that we do as a human is we try to give a call to a friend, or maybe call any of our colleague who is intellectually competent, and we'll start discussing our ideas with them. Because for us it is very much important that somebody should give us a pat on the back, that wow, that's a good idea, this is something brilliant you have discovered. Or we always need somebody else to provide us with the consent that yes, the idea is good, and we need to proceed ahead with it. Now, See, when you start discussing your idea with somebody which is already unique and you are aware of it, the person you're discussing with is aware of it, and that person decides to misuse it. Suppose the idea that you discussed, he decided to write a paper on it, or maybe give a call to the media people, and he started talking with them, and he told them that the idea was his, or maybe he came up with this idea on one fine day. Is there any proof that the idea was yours? You can just go and stop that person. The biggest problem is that you don't have a proof to prove that or claim that the idea was yours. In such circumstances, government came up with an idea, with a scheme, with a protection method that is called intellectual property rights. IPR helps you to protect your ideas, innovations method such that nobody else can use or misuse these things. Okay, so patent, copyright, design, trademark are parts of IPR, and you as an individual, how you can benefit from it, what role this IPR can play in your life, and what all things are protected under patent, copyright, and trademark. We'll be just taking it in a brief way, and then we'll be moving on to how research circle can help you in upgrading your profile, how it can help you with getting more patents and designs and copyrights involved into your profile. We'll be discussing towards the same. The first topic that we are discussing here is copyright filing. Now, copyright includes anything that is artistic. But what does artistic mean? It means anything literature, dramatic, poetry, research papers, presentations, notes, photography, anything that you do which has something creativity into it. See, many of you might be like teaching faculties or maybe into the field of research, and you write multiple research papers, right? So the topic might be the same, but the method of writing, the way you express your words, the topic that you have taken up, the way you decide to write it is called artistic work. So artistic work does not mean just paintings and drawings or anything poetic, but it also means any content which you decide to represent it. It can be a website, it can be a software, it can be anything that is related to your educational sector is protected under copyright. Now, I usually get this question that if I have done something artistic, maybe if I have done a research paper, or maybe I have written a blog, or anything design that I have created, why should I file for a copyright? It's the generation of social media. I can just publish my work and people will come to know that the work was done by me. Now, the mistake that we all do is when you publish a work, the timestamp which is visible to you is called the date and time of publication. It does not prove that the work was created by you and the timestamp on which it was created or the ownership of the work is yours. Now, suppose I'm surfing through the internet and I find a good blog written by Bill Gates, and I decide to use the same quote or maybe the content into my website or maybe my Facebook page. Does that mean that the work was done by me, was written by me? No, it was just published by me. So, similarly, copyright helps you to protect the identity of the owner. That means when you file a copyright, it provides you an official government timestamp proving that the data was written by you, you have the ownership of it, and this is the following date on which the work was created. So it gives you the ownership or the creation of the created work. Okay, so that is why copyright filing is important. Now let's understand, because you are a part of everyday, many of you might be looking to be upcoming entrepreneurs, or you are involved with industries, or you have started commercializing your work. How a copyright infringement can be of a bigger issue, we need to understand it here. So we all know the company TCS, right? Tata Consultancy and Services. Now, there is another company called Epic Systems who develops softwares in USA for different types of companies. Now, one time Epic System was working, they had developed a software which had to be installed into different hospital chains in USA. Now, once the softwares have been installed, they hired third party company like TCS or Infosys. They hire third party company to do the background work like data management, or to maintain the entire software. So they usually hire Indian companies because obviously the dollar to rupee conversion, right? So they hired TCS to work for their company, to work on their client database. Now, whenever a third party company is hired by a company to work on the client database or their software, there is a confidentiality agreement which every company signs. See, the confidentiality agreement is usually signed by the managers, which state that the data which we are going to share with you or the work that we are going to share with you is confidential in nature, and you cannot use, misuse, or violate it or breach in any form. And if in case any of our data is leaked or used by your company or any of your known companies, it will be a violation of our agreement. Okay, so now usually these agreements are signed by the managers of the company. The people who come to work for this software maintenance and all these are technical people, like not on the managerial level, maybe any of the staff or employee, the technical layer. Now these people are not made aware, or at times are not aware of the confidentiality agreement which was signed. So when the person came to work on the software, he was quite impressed about the algorithm and the method of working and the way the entire software was progressing. So he came back and to India, and he suggested to develop a similar software for the hospital chains here in India. The software was developed and sold into the market under the name MedMantra. Okay, now once when this software came into the market, Epic System came to know about it. Epic System slapped TCS with a fine of $940 million. See, the problem is the agreement was signed by the employees of the company. The managers are still the employee of the company. The work was copied by the employee of the company, created and sold into the market by the employee of the company. But at the end of the day, the person who was liable to pay for the breach or to compensate for the breach was the company. TCS had to bear the for all the violations done. So if you decide to enter into the market, right? So or if you decide to make anything public and earn money out of it, you need to be very careful that no third party data is being used without their permission. See, Joe, everything that is online is not free of cost. Please do not be misguided. People always believe that whatever is available on Google, let's use it, it's free of cost. No, it's not free of cost. It is free if you're using it for your own purpose, like you're creating a Facebook profile or using it, the pictures on your wallpaper. It's quite okay. But as soon as you start selling it into the market, create a presentation, put it on YouTube, earning money out of it, or you decide to work for a company and freelance them few of your presentations or work, then it's a huge copyright violation if you're using third party work without their permission. The bigger problem is when you decide to publish papers without filing a copyright. See, whenever you decide to publish a paper, you can have the ownership of the work by filing a copyright. So in case, so what happens is, imagine you decide to publish a paper with a publication house. Whenever they file a copyright, yes, every publication house files for a copyright, but they have to file it as a publisher and not the owner of the work. The ownership should always be yours. So okay, so when the publication house decides to file for a copyright, they file it as a owner of the work. You actually provide a signed terms and conditions page which states that whatever work we are submitting to the publication house is now on the now it has the company, the publication house now has the ownership of the work. Imagine. So imagine you have a house and you decided to rent it. So instead of signing a rent agreement, you decided to sign a transfer paper and give your entire property free of cost. Will you ever do that? No, you will never create such a mistake. But when it was the matter of your intellectual property, like your research paper, you gave the entire work free of cost to a publication house. So never do that. File for a copyright, get the ownership of it, and then give the publication house the publishing rights. So they can publish your work, and the ownership of the work is still with you. It creates a huge impact when you sit for a interview or when you decide to get an increment in your job or whatever way that you are owner of so many works and you know the value of intellectual property. Okay, so here are a few questions which usually our clients have. So we have just jotted down just to explain it to you. These are few questions which we usually get. So what does copyright actually protect? See, copyright does not protect an idea. It is not an idea which is protected. It is the expression of the work, the way the words have been used, the content of presentation. All these things are protected under copyright. Copyright has a bifurcation called literature, dramatics, computer software, artistic work like photographs and paintings, and songs, musics, and video. So these are the categories which copyright protects. But as a person in the field of academics, You can protect your research papers, the presentations that you prepare to teach a student, the notes that you prepare, anything that is literature can be protected under copyright. So please look into it that your work is protected first before you endorse it to anybody. So how long I have to wait to get my work registered? So this is the best part. Copyright registration takes around 30 days as per the registry. Registry has written that we get grant a copyright in 30 days, but usually it takes around 45 to 60 days too. So please do not jump on the registry if you don't get a certificate in 30 days. But at time it takes around 45 to 60 days, but within 2 months you can have a granted copyright certificate in your name. So why wait? It's one of the simplest and easiest and quick procedure to get a certificate. What is the term of copyright? Now, this is the best part. The copyright is valid till the author is alive and 60 years after the death of the author. So, imagine if you file a copyright, you can have the ownership of it like till the author is alive and 60 years after the death also. The biggest example to it is Michael Jackson. We all know the legend. He still has, his family still gets the royalty for all the work he has done, and almost $80 million the family earns out of the royalty, which is still being used in the market. That is the benefit of copyright filing. Okay, so I hope copyright is clear. If you have any doubt towards the end of the session, we'll be discussing with a Q&A round. So let's move on, or you can just put into the chat box so we can have a discussion towards the end. Okay, so I hope copyright is clear. Anything artistic that you do can be protected under copyright. So the next topic that we'll be discussing is trademark filing. Now, trademark is simple. It protects a brand's identity. That means suppose you go into the market to buy a product, right? So it is not just you'll just don't go into the market and say you want this. No, you actually tell them, inform them that you want this product of so and so brand, because the brand provides you with a surety that it will be good, right? So every company trademarks its brand name. There are different things that are trademark, like logos, symbols, taglines, jingles, name. All these things are protected under trademark because it helps the customer to stay assured that this brand name is only being used by so and so company. Like suppose I'm driving and I'm suddenly hungry, I want to eat something, so I'll just look for good restaurants on the street, and suddenly I find a capital yellow M. I'll immediately recognize that it is McDonald's. And if you are a frequent traveler, you will see to it that you eat in a good food chain, right? Because obviously you don't trust all the laris on the street, right? All the you don't trust them. You will trust a good food chain where billions of people have been eating for so long. So McDonald's has their yellow M protected under trademark. Every company, whichever brand you pick, have their symbols, logos, taglines trademarked such that no competitor company can use the same symbol or same word or name to confuse their customer. Okay. Few other interesting things are also trademark, like sound, smell, dialogue, voice, three-dimensional design. These things are also protected under trademark. Now understand why. Suppose I decide to go and buy a perfume. Okay, I will not just check what brand it is. I'll definitely check how good the smell is, right? Because if I'm spending $500, I want the perfume to be good, right? So every perfume manufacturing company not just trademarks its brand name, but will also trademark the smell, the fragrance that this perfume provides, such that no competitor perfume manufacturing company endorses the same a different brand with the same smell. Okay, so coming up to sound and voice. When we were kids, we used to watch Tom and Jerry, right? So there is a sound of a lion roaring in the beginning of the session. That sound, which the image you can see on the screen, that sound is protected by Walt Disney, and nobody except them without the permission can use that sound. The sound is very nostalgic. If you hear that sound today, you'll just look around that where Tom and Jerry is playing, right? So every sound which has an impact on the what do you call audience is protected under trademark. Okay, all the cartoon characters that you see on screen is also trademark protected. Why? See, cartoon characters, if you just think once, are artistic work, so it should be protected under copyright. Then why is it protected under trademark? If you had that question, you're paying very close attention. It is because all these cartoon characters start getting printed with the products. They start becoming a product identity. Like for example, many of you will be fans of superheroes, like you're either DC fan or a Marvel fan, or maybe both, like me. So every cartoon character starts getting printed with t-shirts, water bottles, bed sheets, cycles, and then people start to ask in the market in such a way, like, I want Batman t-shirts, or I want Minion water bottles. So every cartoon character starts getting recognized with the product, and as soon as starts getting recognized with the product, it becomes a product identity, and that is when these artistic words work gets converted into a brand identity. They become a brand in themselves, and that is why it is protected under trademark. Okay, so I hope trademark is quite clear. As an individual, see, if you are an individual, then you can trademark the names. Like for example, if you decide to write a book, design a software, uh, start your own company, then you can trademark the name of these products. So you don't have to start your own cartoon channel. If you start, you can definitely trademark it. Otherwise, you can trademark every small thing that you create. The name that you want to give it to the product can be trademarked by you. Okay, so as a layman, one of the biggest business that follows is when you have a people buy trade brand names. Like suppose you have a good name and you decide to file a trademark on it. Okay, so once you have filed for a trademark, it gets government approved, it gets granted, and it changes into R. That means registered trademark. TM means temporary mark. It does not mean trademark. So once you apply TM, that means it's still under government procedure. When that logo changes into R, the symbol R, it means it's a registered granted trademark. People buy such trademark. It's a huge industry. We, like, as a part of research circle, we have helped our clients to get few exclusive trademarks protected, and now the market, the industry is looking for registered trade names. So you can actually sell your brand names for 50,000, 1 lakh, whatever amount you feel that is feasible, and earn money out of it. So that is also a good business you can look into. So imagine you're just sitting at home. The government fees is like, the fees for filing a trademark is not that much. You can just have an approved brand in your name and wait for an industry to buy it from you. Okay, so like, if you are interested to earn few extra bucks, you can anytime contact us. We can help you in which field there is a lot of demand for the brand name. Get one registered and then sell it off into the market. So this is one way you can actually earn an extra buck without working hard on it. Okay, so the next topic that we are discussing is patent filing. I know many of you sitting here are interested to know what patent is, how you can file a patent, how you can earn advantage of it. So, like I told you, copyright protects the artistic work. It protects the expression. But when you file a copyright, nothing needs to be logical. Like if you write a song, you can write any words and still it makes sense, right? Some of the Hindi songs or the English songs does not make sense at all, but still they are all copyrighted because they are still called art. But when you talk about patent, everything has to be logical, right? You cannot file any hypothetical idea. Patent protects ideas, innovations, method, process, mechanism, designs, product, structures. These things are protected under patent, but it can only be filed if you have an explanation on how it is going to work, and why the filing is, and why you're filing it. What is the importance that you can get by filing this idea? Only then you can file for a patent. Okay, now, patent has been categorized into three categories. One is called the utility patent, where usually people talk about, a method patent or process patent. It's called utility patent. The second is called the design patent, where the idea and the structure of the idea is protected. And third is called genomically engineered plants, where people work with microorganisms, RNA, DNA modification, hybridizations. So when people work into the biotechnology sector, that is called under plant variety. Okay, so these are the three categories. So whenever we talk about patent, the best part about patent is the utility and design is you do not require a prototype to file for a patent. See, that is one of the biggest myth which people believe in, that you need the product to file a patent. No, you just need a theoretical description explaining the components and the working. If you have that, you can file for a patent any day. Okay, but when we talk about genomically engineered plant, that is a completely different sector, where you actually have to submit the sample of the idea or the microorganism or the modifications that you have done. So apart from that, the other two, when you if you want to file for a process patent, that is utility patent, or a design patent, you don't need a prototype, you can easily file it. But when you talk about genomically engineered plants, you have to submit the sample. That is the only difference which both of them carry. Okay. So the best part about patent is 90% of the patents which are being filed worldwide is being filed on modifications. Yes, patent ask when you decide to file for a patent, it is always informed that it has to be filed on something unique, novel, which has never been disclosed. True, but how much improvement is required? 1%. Government informs you that if your innovative idea has 1% something different to existing, you can file for a patent. And as a part of research circle team, let me tell you how we have been working. We have a lot of experts. So if you have an idea, if you have worked on some research papers, you want it modified, you want to file it for patent, but you cannot find something patentable, just approach our team. Our experts will guide you to make the modifications or to find what is innovative to file for patent, because government only expects 1% modification to file for an innovative idea. Okay. This is one of the very good examples. First, there was gramophone, then tape recorder, cassette players, CD players, Walkman, iPod. All these are musical instruments, like instruments to listen to music, right? But somebody thought that I cannot carry that huge gramophone or tape recorder onto the streets and listen to music. It's quite impossible. So I need something compact that I can walk on the street with. And somebody came up with the idea called Walkman, right? Do you know the headphones that we use, the design of the headphones was invented by only a 15-year-old kid. The purpose of the headphones was to restrict noise. He was working in a factory, and the design was so compact and so beautiful that it is still being used to create headphones. So invention does not look age or how it came into existence. Such things are called innovations, and anybody can create it. That's the beauty of invention. So all the musical instruments that you see, everything around you has been modified, improved, advanced. Every small thing and every big thing is patented. Do you know, when we are talking about inventions, uh, your day-to-day life, there are hundreds of instruments that you use in your day-to-day life, like for example, toothbrushes, cups, a car, right? Sofas, chairs, your regular utensils, your bathroom cleaner, everything that you touch, your shampoo bottles, everything is patent protected. Everything is patent protected. Imagine. So how small this world is. Everything that you touch from morning till night has, every product is patent protected. The biggest example is the company Gillette. We are quite well aware of what the company manufactures, right? They are into razor manufacturing, right? They are all into shaving products. 73% of their asset value is IPR. They earn by licensing the designs of the razors that they create. So when we talk about design patent and utility patent, we'll understand what the difference is and how both have equal importance. See, in India, it's very difficult to tell people what is the difference between utility and design. Let's understand in the next slide how both have equal importance, right? See, the company Gillette, who manufactures razors, how many utility will they have and how many designs will they have? They have more than thousands of design patents, because the structure of the razor gives them the protection. It is the same thing. They have the blades, you can use it to shave. It's the same process, but the structure, the look and feel that it provides, make people feel rich when you're using that razor, is what is protected by the company. So you need to understand the difference between utility and design patent. Now here, we all know the company Apple, right? Now, upcoming mobile phones are all going to be bendable and foldable, right? So the bendable phone came, we have started listening about bendable phones since last few years. The patent of that bendable mobile phones is owned by different other companies, and it is not owned by Apple. So what Apple did was, Apple bought few of its genius people into a meeting, and they were like, look, foldable phones are going to come into existence. We have to create something because of which we can also be into the race of foldable phones. So what can we do? So there was a person, he was brilliant. He said that let's create foldable mobile covers. Understand the perspective. Now this is my mobile phone, right? Now this is not a bendable phone. So I can have any type of mobile cover. It does not matter. It can be plastic, it can be rubber. It just gets fixed into the mobile cover. But now imagine my phone can bend. I cannot use a regular plastic or a rubber mobile cover. If I try to bend it, it is going to 100% break. It will not give the flexibility to my phone, which is required. And if I use a rubber mobile cover, if I try to bend it, it will start bulging out from the sides. You can try it with, if you have one, you can just try it. If you try to bend it, it will start to bulge out from the sides. So what Apple thought was, let's create a flexible mobile cover which can stay attached to the screen, attached to the entire mobile cover. It is a type of material which they created. It will bend according to the mobile phone and it will not bulge. It will just stay connected to the entire sides of the mobile and it will not bend. Okay, so that is the utility patent they created. They designed the material, they designed the working, the structure, and everything, and that cover can be used with any type of mobile phones, whatever the size be. Okay, and that is the utility patent they filed. The design patent was the structure of the case that they designed, the rectangular case and the edging and everything was put into design patent. Now let's take a layman example to understand the difference between utility patent and design patent. Now this is a cup, right? Everyone has mugs or cups at their home, and different companies manufacture cups and mugs. Now why do you use this? Maybe because if you want to drink something hot during winters and something cold during your summer, right? Great. So there are different companies which manufactures cups and mugs. Whenever the structure of a product changes, it is filed under a design patent because only the structure is changing, right? And whatever maybe it's a cup and you designed another two handles here. Okay, now if you have a young kid at your home, he or she may not be comfortable holding it just from one end. So there is another handle here, so he can hold it from here, and now he can comfortably support and drink. That is why kids cups have two handles. You might have observed that another set of handle is a design patent. Okay, it is very useful, but the additional structure, but it is still the cup. It is doing nothing unique. Still you can just pour the liquid and drink it, so it's filed under a design patent. But now imagine, I'm a very lazy person. Okay, so during your lockdowns, everyone was looking into making dalgona coffee, right? So it's a very difficult task to stir the coffee for like 5 to 10 minutes to make that frothing coffee. So I decided to attach a motor and attach an instrument and just switch on the button, put the coffee powder and the sugar and the water, and the as soon as I switch on the button, it will start stirring itself. I don't have to do anything. So there is an automatic frothing going on because it has to be very small of an instrument. I cannot use the regular blender to do it. So it start automatically frothing it, and then I just have to add my milk and I can have the good coffee. Now I added features into the cup. I made the cup automatic, right? I added the automatic stirring procedure, and now I can always have good frothed coffee just by using this mug. Okay, so when I add features, components, working method, mechanism into an existing product or create a new product, it is called a utility patent. So when I have to file a utility patent, I need new features, components, working method, mechanism into an existing product. It is called a utility patent. But when I design, only make some changes into the structure or an idea which people have discussed, right? But there is no product existing. People have been talking about flying drones and helping harvesting drones and surveillance drones, but people have not thought how the design will look. If I can think how the design can look and I can just draw it or sketch it, I can file for a design patent. See, the concept is already protected by utility patent, but the design, if I can think how unique I can make something, it is filed under design patent. Now see, this is a beautiful design of a desk flower pot, desk pot, right? Somebody thought of this. There are hundreds of flower pots which are available at your home, but somebody thought of this, just changing the structure to make it look beautiful for your office purpose. It is filed under design patent. So design patent is nothing small. Do not think that, oh, it's a design patent. No, design patent is much more, to a level where people have been thinking about how the product is actually going to look into the market, because at the end, whatever, the look matters. Right? So And the best part about design patent is you can have a certificate within 45 to 60 days. You know, if there is no objection raised, for sure, if there is no objection raised for or any query raised by the registry, within 60 days you can have the official certificate at your home. And it is valid for 15 years. Okay. Utility patent, on the other hand, takes around 2.5 to 3 years to get it granted, and the certificate is valid for 20 years, which calls for a regular renewal. So think about it. And having a patent in your profile is so much important because India, you know, see, this is one of the very good examples. These are needles. Okay, like your mother or grandmother might have used the needle with, they just put a thread into it and then just stitch your buttons or whatever is required. So the eye of the needle is at the top end always, right, which we use for hand stitching. But an entire industrial revolution took place when the eye of the needle was shifted from the top end to the bottom end, right? The entire range of stitching machines which are available in the market has the eye of the needle at the bottom end. And different needles were designed for different types of clothing, like for cotton, different for denim, for wool, for leather. Every different type of material that was used for stitching purposes had different needles designed. So see, the needles were doing the same thing to stitch something, but the material for which it was being helpful, the cuts or the sharpness or everything was different. So when the design structure of the needle changed, it was filed under new design patent. So that is the importance of design patent, and understand it. Okay, so when somebody asks you, so you can actually explain to them why design patent has so much importance. It is equal to a utility patent. Okay. So, like the normal Apple phone that you hold has more than 200 patents. So, 200 patents are not just utility patents. It's they make hundreds of changes into a mobile set, right? The camera, the screen, the screw, everything that you see in an Apple phone is patent protected. See, Apple is not just expensive because it's a huge brand. It is expensive because they put a lot of hard work to make the entire product unique. Okay. So here are two basic questions which we usually have. What is the term of patent? A utility patent holds right till 20 years from the date of creation. From the date on which it was filed, it will be, there is a 20 years patent, right? And for a design patent, it has a 15 years of rights. Okay. And does Indian patent gives protection worldwide? This is the very common question. See, no country can provide you with a worldwide patent rights. Please understand. Even if you decide to file it in US or maybe Australia or maybe Germany or whichever country you prefer, the patent right is protected only for that country. That means when you file for a patent, your idea is protected, restricted to that country. Nobody else can manufacture or sell that product into that country. But if I want to manufacture the same product in USA, nobody can come and stop me. Same works for USA. If I file a patent in USA, I can manufacture that product in India. But to protect it worldwide, you will have to file the patent in all different countries to claim rights on it with the equal government fees. Okay, so there is nothing called as international patent or worldwide patent. No, but you want to file for a patent, it provides you protection in that individual country, and whichever country you prefer, the rights are protected to that country only. Okay. So, talking about patent valuation, as I told you, you do not need a product to file for a patent or to get rights on it. Government is never going to ask you, bring the product, let me see how it looks or how it works, and then let's file for a, grant you patent. No, it does not happen that way. So, there is a company called Vernetex, like people from USA would be very much aware of. Now, Vernetex is a company which only files patent. That means they are a group of 15 people, they sit together, discuss about technology and file patents over it. And they license just the idea to multi-billion companies like Apple, Facebook, Google, Amazon. They just sell their ideas to these companies, just the ideas, and earn millions out of it. So that is how even you can play a role. Just file for a patent and look for companies who can just buy it, commercialize it, give rights to it. And see, now the patent world is changing. Government is looking for people who can think innovative. Educational institutes are looking for people who can think innovative. Companies are looking for people with a good IPR profile. It is only because India, although being a population of 130 crore and rising, we still only file 50,000 patent a year. So people who think there is a lot of competition in the market, there is not that much. Out of 50,000, 60% patents are being filed by different companies like Amazon, Apple, Google, Samsung. These companies, which does not give any rights in India. They are just protecting rights in India. Okay, so only 40% patents are Indian out of 50,000. So you are in a bigger race. If you want to prove that you have a better quality of research, or to prove that you have a better portfolio, file more patents. And it is much easier when you approach a team like Research Circle. Now, as a part of our team, how do we work? Now, if you have an idea or an innovation or a research or a project on which you're working, just approach our team, and our team will look into it, provide you with modifications, suggestions regarding how inventive the idea is, how we can turn this research into a better idea, and file patents on it. We'll suggest you utility patent, design patents as per your requirement. Our expert panel has experts from all different sectors. They are industrialists, they are in the field of education sector. You can get your ideas modified into patentable projects. You just need to tell us which field or which sector your project is being, and we can help you in modifying it into a patentable research. Because as I told you, only 1% modification is required to file for a patent. And that is how our entire team has been working for the past few years. We have helped so many educational professionals and entrepreneurs to get good ideas. Okay. These are few of the examples which we have filed. So there was one from the biotechnology field who wanted to create an instrument which can heat intravenous liquid fluid. Yeah, now if you are admitted into a hospital, if you want to inject fluid into your body, you cannot just bring it out from the freezer and inject it into your body, right? You have to warm it up. So to create the warmth, he informed us that there are places like, when you are in up north, like where it is very cold, there is no electricity, how to heat it. So that was his problem, and our team provided with a solution by using nanotechnology, and we created an instrument using which it was made possible. So we have a utility patent and a design patent, and this is one of the project which is approaching the government too. So such ideas can be converted into better ideas if you require. Now, a person was from an agricultural background, and he wanted to create something beautiful out of, he just wanted to use a simple method to sow the seeds. So we attached a box onto the shoes, and now when he walks onto the farm, he can just disperse the, just by tapping on the shoes, he can disperse the seed wherever, at whatever distance he want. So we made things much more easier for him. So such are the innovations which we have done, and we can even help you out with your projects. Okay, so if you have any doubts or query, we'll be approaching towards it, and we can just or you can contact us anytime to know more. Thank you. So if anybody has any doubt or query, they can just put it into the chat box, or even if you have some way they are communicating to you, you can just let me know so we can just address those Q&A. Sorry, I was mute. So, Rahul just asked me a question that what is the difference between copyright and patent? What is like as an individual, how it can be helpful? So, as I informed you, patent protects the literature. Patent protects the idea, the method, the creation, components, working methodology, right? But on the other hand, copyright protects the way, the expression, the method in which you have written the content. Like, for example, if you draft a patent document which expresses the component, the working method, methodology, the written content can be protected by the copyright, and the idea, the method, the components which you have used for the working of the component can be protected under patent. So, when you draft one single set, you can have both. You can file for a copyright and you can also file for a patent. So, you can have two IPR just by in a single idea.